Recently, I've been reading the book The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, and I think that it would be a great graphic novel. I think this book should be turned into a graphic novel because it would reach a wider audience. Since not a lot of teenagers like to read chapter books, maybe graphic novels would be more appealing to them. Since this book is such an interesting and is so different from other books that people are used to reading, I think that more people should be open to reading it, and I think a graphic novel would expand the horizons of people who would read it. I've even turned one of the scenes into a comic to show you what it could look like. So the scene I picked is when the Walls family visits the zoo. So I have when the dads have a staring contest with the alligator, and even when they go to pet the cheetah. The panels that I used in my comic are all different sizes, and I think that this helps encourage the reader to keep on reading the comic because it's not the same and they're not repetitive, so it's different and it's something to be interested in. Some transitions that I used in my comic are aspect to aspect. When the Walls family is looking around the zoo and they're looking at all the different animals, like the sleeping tigers and the eating aardvarks, and this kind of develops the setting and shows what they're really looking at. I also used moment-to-moment transitions, which is the single action of looking at the cheetah to the dad going to pet the cheetah, and it's a slow passage of time which builds suspense, which kind of makes the reader think, like, why is he doing that? Like, is the cheetah gonna bite him? Is he gonna get hurt? So it builds suspense that makes the reader want to keep reading to see what happens to the dad petting the cheetah. Some colors that I used in my comic are all bright, which symbolizes happiness because the Walls family doesn't have an easy life and enjoyable days don't come around often, so when they got to go to the zoo, it was sort of like a treat for the family, like it's a special occasion for them. I developed my characters and emotions. For example, I developed Jeanette, who is this girl with red hair, because in every scene she's next to her dad, which shows that she looks up to him and she really trusts him no matter what he does. Even when he's petting the cheetah, she thinks it's safe, so she goes and she wants to pet the cheetah also because her dad did it. So it shows that she really looks up to him and she thinks that he's a really trustworthy person. I also developed Rex's character, so Jeanette's dad, by showing that he has a need for power because he thinks he's more powerful than he actually is. He doesn't listen to the rules by crossing this chain fence to protect people. He doesn't think he needs it. He thinks he's more powerful than the cheetah and more powerful than the other people at the zoo, that he doesn't need to follow these rules. The mood that I set throughout my comic is cheer and excitement, because it's going to the zoo is a happy time for kids. Like, they get to see something that they normally wouldn't see. There's also the mood of exhilaration when the dad is petting the cheetah, and when Jeanette's petting the cheetah, and when they get kicked out of the zoo. And also trustfulness when Jeanette lets her dad guide her hand through the cheetah's cage to pet the cheetah. My comic has literary merit because there's theme, that there's non-conformity. So obviously the Walls family is very different from many other families. Like, when you go to the zoo, your parents wouldn't let you go pet the animals, and throughout the book the Walls family is very unconventional, so that's a reoccurring theme that happens throughout the book. I also include the opposite of an archetype, which the archetype would be a caring dad who looks out for his family, and the opposite of the archetype is that Jeanette's dad is letting her put her hand into the cage of a wild animal that you can't control. And this shows the opposite of what most people think of when they think of a dad, that he's caring and protective, while Jeanette's dad is letting her pet wild animals that you can't control. So all of these aspects that I've included into my comic make me think that The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls would be a great graphic novel because of all the exciting scenes that happen, and I think that many people would be interested and intrigued to read this book as a graphic novel to be able to picture what's going on more clearly and be able to see what their family really looks like and how they act through pictures instead of many words. So I hope you guys take my suggestion and you turn this book into a graphic novel because I think it would be a great idea. Thank you.